done with my excuses and having all the answers, and humbled myself and became coachable, teachable, was just like hitting.
And he did.
He sure did.
He's so faithful. Are you ready, my love?
I sure am. Let's do this.
Okay. Welcome, guys. I'm going to interview my husband today.
Wow.
It's a really cool story. You want to stick to the end because we have a surprise there for you. But for now, my husband is going to share a story
What about
how he met his Russian wife at the age of 40. Tell us more, just very quickly. Did you wait until 40?
Well, I was waiting on God for one.
Okay.
Until I discovered He was waiting on me.
Oh, that's a good one. How did you finally found out that He was waiting on you?
Well, He told me as much.
Okay.
Actually, he told me that through a man of God by the name of Carlos Campos, who specializes in relationships and helping singles get married or have a great marriage if they're already married. That's where I discovered the power of putting action to what we're believing for. Believing for something, then my actions will prove it.
I like it. Struggling to find a date, or why was it? Were you too picky?
Yeah, I remember my dad often telling me I'm too picky, and also that I have commitment issues. So those are two things my own father pointed out to me way years ago.
Okay.
And so that's great to know that. I suspected he's probably right, but I didn't know what to do with that.
Okay. And then you met Carlos and he said, dude, God is waiting on you to make a move. So
he basically taught me the skills and the habits to incorporate that build confidence, which then produces better communication, which then address the commitment issue.
How did you meet him?
Oh, it was a five-day challenge on Facebook called Fast Track to Marriage.
No kidding.
And, I had just prior to that been praying and asking God to show me what am I missing here. Something is not clicking here. I'll do whatever it takes. You just tell me what to do. And shortly thereafter, I put a post on Facebook saying, help! I want to get married, any tips out there on how to move forward, And I got a bunch of great comments, and one of them was actually a DM from my friend that said, hey, you heard about this Fast Track to Marriage challenge that this Carlos Campos is doing? No, but sign me up.
That sounds cool. It's like God answered your prayer.
He did. As soon as I was done with my excuses and having all the answers, and humbled myself and became coachable, teachable, and I actually kind of put to the side everything I knew up to that point, and was just like hitting.
And he did.
He sure did.
He's so faithful.
Yeah, for I think
That's
about
amazing.
6 months approximately from the point of decision to marriage.
Okay. So you signed up for Fast Track to Marriage challenge.
Yes.
That was 5 days challenge. Tell us more about that just briefly so that people know what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, so it was just a series of 5 evening webinars where Carlos was teaching these principles, and then he was also interviewing some success stories of his past and current time back then, and he had some action steps every day. And I started doing the action steps, and one of the action steps led me to actually discover you.
Oh, how did you discover
Well,
me?
Irina here was on there as well, and I immediately wow, she's pretty.
You got lucky. Oh my gosh.
And but I had to get to a certain point to where my confidence is at a level to where I'm like, I'm gonna reach out and say, actually, you reached out first. She sent me a happy birthday. I turned 41, I think.
You turned 40.
Yeah, Carlos did three 3 of these challenges, May, June, and July of 2020.
20.
Yeah, just 2020.
So you were turning 40 at that time.
Yeah, and the June one is where I turned 41. And it was...
No, that was after we got married, love. You turned 40 when I messaged you.
That's
Happy birthday.
right.
See, time flies. Time flies.
She's right. I got my math all turned around.
So, okay, let me ask you this. You come out of the Amish. And were you dreaming about marrying someone that's not from your background?
It was a fantasy and it felt exotic.
Oh.
You know, secretly deep down, I was okay with marrying someone who's from a foreign land. And I recognize that there's a high potential in some of these cultures.
Yeah.
Just wasn't sure how in the world to go about it. I had a couple friends that married, their wives are foreigners, to where they literally went and fetched them.
Wow. What do you mean by fetch them?
Well, they went over and, literally got to know them, proposed, and
to another country.
Yeah.
Wow.
One was from...
That's pretty brave.
Yeah, one friend married a girl from Switzerland and assisted her in her citizenship to America. Another one, you can't really technically call him a friend, but distant acquaintance, got a girl from India.
And then one from Philippines.
Yeah, and another one from the Philippines. And all 3 of them brought their wives over from those lands and helped them through the citizenship process. And they're happily married as far as I know.
And you brought me from where?
Well, sort of from Russia, but you were already...
I was here.
She was already in the States as of back in 97, I believe. Right?
Where were you living at that time?
Northwest Montana, in the mountains. I was a mountain dweller back then, the Cabinet Mountains specifically, in the small town of Libby, with a community that used to be old order Amish, and they transitioned out of that into a more a lifestyle of embracing freedom and in the spirit and all of that, but still maintain a lot of the culture of family, community, and that tight-knit, intimate feeling of which I was so well acquainted with and still miss from my culture. Yeah, so there I was.
Yeah.
And
I was living in Florida at that time.
Wow.
So, okay, going back to Fast Track to Marriage.
Oh, yeah, right.
When you and I started talking, we were just talking because doing homework,
practicing getting to know somebody and making a friend with no expectations whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like all the pressure was lifted off, to where it was just about practicing getting to know each other, asking these questions. That we had like a list of questions to ask. And
did you know how to connect with people before, communicate?
Sort of. I just didn't fully recognize the importance of being intentional about it.
Okay.
It was more just whatever happens,
Yeah.
I was, surrounded with many, many friends up to this point. So I didn't have a problem making friends. It was the thing of taking it to the next level. Especially, I had lots of friends that were girls, but I was terrified of taking it any further than the friend zone. That's the part that I was scared of. So I had lots of girl friends as well as guy friends.
So that the connection consultant at that time, Carlos, your mentor, taught you how to be courageous and brave, have confidence in moving forward, asking the right questions. That's really cool. Okay, so we start talking. What happened after that?
Well, what happened?
How quick after that did we meet in person?
Let's see. I think we had our first conversation at the very tail end of June, I believe. And what was about a month later, we had another conversation.
Yeah.
July.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 in July. I'm not sure. Yeah. And I think by August we were weekly at least.
Bi-weekly or so. September probably weekly.
Yeah. I was thinking it was 1, 2, before, and then it was pretty quickly it moved into daily almost, or at least multiple times.
Yeah. Did you know right away that I would be your wife when you saw me?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
No clue.
How did you know and decide it later?
Well, I was, building communication level friendships with multiple women or girls, all single. But again, I wasn't dating them. There was nothing, no expectations of intimacy or marriage in the picture. It's just getting to know them, and the homework was to practice, making friends of the opposite gender and there's no expectations. This is not dating. This is not scouting out. It's just just follow directions.
I think you're giving away some secrets.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's good, right? You guys want those secrets, right? I mean, it helped us a lot. We went from not knowing each other when the fast track to marriage happened or started, and then 5 months later, we met in person for the first time after talking for about 4 months or so, probably.
Yeah, so I was going to mention how that, as I communicated with various individuals, it became apparent that there's a few that they're
connection.
I started having preferences and enjoying the conversation more with certain ones, and she rose all the way to the top, to the point where, like, hey, she threw me a subtle, strong hint I should come down and visit sometime, or something like that.
That's right. I said you should come down and visit the beach.
I took that seriously.
And I took you to that beach.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. To that same one that I sent you a video of.
Yeah, and I don't know that we necessarily really labeled it a date. It was more like, let's meet up. And the focus was to have a fun weekend together. Just enjoy a weekend together. And if nothing more happens out of it, then let's just have a great, fun weekend.
I love it.
And if it does, well, yay, then we'll make the next step,
Yeah.
But, but the agenda was like, well, if nothing happens, then I made friends. Maybe someday we'll hang out as couples, double dates, It's kind of like that level of no expectations. Yeah. Still hopes, yes, of course.
Yeah. And what happened after that? We met and...
Well, after that first meetup was so amazing, to me at least, that it was supernaturally orchestrated, I would say.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was very good.
How well everything flowed and just clicked and fell into place, and we had a great time.
And it was so natural for us to connect, and
yes, it was like
best friends meeting together.
Yeah, it was like meeting an old friend you'd never met before.
Yeah,
it's because we had been doing video chats up to that point, so it's not like we were complete strangers, but definitely strangers in person.
So then the weekend. That was a weekend visit, and then you went home, and that was it?
Well, for the next couple of weeks, at least 3 weeks, I recall we were communicating daily and on a higher level of intentionality. This time with open communication of our potential interest in each other, like with that awareness. We communicated an awareness of our feelings towards each other. Yeah. And then I think 3 weeks after that first meetup, we met at a retreat where we broke through the final barriers that were blocking us and hindering us, that almost sabotaged our fledgling relationship that was in the sprout stage. Yeah. And as soon as we broke through, I proposed. Yeah. And it wasn't anything fancy. Trust me, it was Amish style proposal if I ever saw any. But I didn't. I didn't process that stuff.
And I think we were both kind of shaking in our boots at that time, right? Because had this big breakthrough and decided, we want to share with each other. Because at that time we were still kind of like, oh, don't know if it's gonna go anywhere or not.
Yeah, we almost didn't move forward there. But I was prepared to. But I was committed to not put any pressure on her,
Yeah.
And if she decided to break it off, I was like, well, okay, we'll just continue being friends and communicate from there and just keep going, I guess. But anyhow, a 48-hour proposal, and then we got married at the retreat.
Yeah.
And we briefly discussed, the dynamics and the logistics of a wedding and when, where, how, who, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, that's too overwhelming.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
So we did it there with no wedding dress. This was my wedding dress. This is her wedding dress. So I'm wearing it today. I love it. It's actually Jesse's favorite color. Red. We didn't even know that before, or I didn't know. He knew, of course. And so I was wearing this dress for our wedding, and it was beautiful, Messianic style wedding. And then we wanted to share a surprise with you. Oh my gosh, almost forgot.
Yeah, what's the surprise again?
What's the surprise? Do you know?
We're going to do the Fast Track to Marriage challenges again?
Yes. So we're going to do a challenge.
And
okay,
it's
guys.
Free, right?
It is free.
It's not going to cost anything. And we're going to do as much as we possibly can to bring value to you.
Yes.
At no charge.
Yeah.
If you get a breakthrough out of this, hallelujah.
Well, we're going to be hosting it, but guess who is going to be teaching it, you guys?
We're going to bring Carlos and Chantel Campos themselves. Right. The man, the woman, the myths, and the legends.
Yes.
We're going to bring them on. We'll be hosting, and they're going to do it again. We asked them to do it, and they agreed, and so we're going to see how it goes.
And guess what? It's not just for the Amish or previously Amish. If you want to get married and you've been feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to go about it. I can't find the right person. I'm stuck. I feel kind of tired of this. I don't know what to do. Join us. It's going to be, when is it going to be?
Next week.
Next week. Monday through Friday, October 30th through November 3rd. And if you want to join, we're going to post the link below so you can just click register and be there. It's going to be at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom and Facebook, I think. So there you go.
And by the way, the term fast track, it's anything faster than what you would do it on your own. That's going to be different for everyone.
I love it. Yeah.
If fast track, we decided fast track triggers somebody, then they're probably not ready for this. However, if you're intrigued and fast track is like, interesting. Well, this is for you. And so it's not like, we're going to toss you into a bowl of strangers and, stranger danger type. No, this is about starting with the basics.
Yeah.
Meeting you where you're at. And just take the simple next step that will move you from here to here or from here to here, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But the next step is always, hey, it's a step.
And the transportation style is yours to pick, right? If you want to walk, if you want to crawl, if you want to take a jet, or if you want to take a train, whatever, right? It's your decision. Month we're going to be celebrating our 3 years anniversary. And it's been a wonderful, beautiful, blessed marriage. Super connected.
Yep. And like we always say, follow the fruit. Fruit's in the pudding. We've seen happy and bad marriages in both young and old. And we were only married one day before we discovered that everything we do from here on out is going to be intentional. It's our duty to create the marriage we want. And so we have made a decision to maintain the honeymoon stage. That doesn't just happen.
That's right. All right, guys. See you at the Fast Track to Marriage Challenge.